So, setting up a Meet in Google Classroom. So you can see that the Meet link is always displayed for the teacher, but to see whether the pupils can see it or not, you need to go into the settings of Classroom and go down here to where it says Meet. If it's visible to students, that'll be switched on. If that's switched off, then they won't be able to see that link on their header page. You can reset that to a new code if somebody else has made themselves a host, or you can just copy it. We're going to copy that because we're going to use it in a moment. First thing you want to do when you're setting up Meet is to open the Meet link and check that you are the host for that link. And you've got to do that by joining in on the call. And that's it there now. So you go through the three little dots onto the settings menu. You've got audio and video where you can choose different microphones and things like that. But it's host controls. That's where you get the chance to really make sure that you can be comfortable with that you've got the Meet under your control. So you've got to join first before anybody else can be invited in by you. You can let people share the screen or not, or you can allow them to share chat messages. So that's you set up as host. You can close that down now, just leave that call. And let's go on to setting up the Meet for the rest. So remember, I'd already copied the Meet link. So we're going to create that as a single question assignment. And we'll just say what is it they're wanting to ask, and then they can send that in as a short answer. You're going to then put the Meet link that you had there in there. And then the key thing is to set the due date as the date that and the time that you will be actually holding the meeting. So that's that in there now, and that will then appear on their calendar. And what I'm going to do is ask that question. You could always schedule it, but we'll just get straight on and ask that question. So that will now appear on the stream. And what you can also do is see the in your Google Calendar for that class, it will actually show up at the time there. Okay, so that's one advantage, that it shows in your calendar and it will also show in there. So you can just see, that's just popped up on the classroom. And so if the pupils go into that, then they'll see the video link there and they see the time that it's due, and they can even go into their calendar and they would, and it will be in their calendar as well because you've set it for a particular due date there. Okay, let's open up the Meet then and see what it looks like. So always a good idea to be in a few minutes early before the rest of the class. So this is now meeting time. So you're in, and then anybody who wants to join, that's just opening now on the pupils screen. So that's me appearing on their screen, and that's the people coming in. Now you've got various options here. You can mute somebody. I've already muted the test people there, or you can remove them from the meeting with this sort of no entry sign there. The other thing, remember, that you've got the options for here, which you can go into at any time, is to change your background, blur your background. I think most people have played with that already. And so once you're now set up there, that's the way that it looks for you. That's the way that it looks for the pupils. Obviously, you can tile up more and more people as you go, and the pupils have various options there to see more or less. So in terms of sharing your screen, you've got two options in Chrome, Google Meet. You can share your entire screen. So if I was to do that, I would click on the screen that I want to share and just do share, like that. And then the pupils can see everything that's on my screen. Now that includes any Tesco shopping that you're doing in other tabs, or your everything else that's going on there, which is great if you want to jump around between lots of different things. There you can see that it's reminding you that you are presenting to everybody. And that's great if you're working between lots of different tabs for a particular thing that you're sharing. If you do want to stop sharing, you've got various options. You can click on stop sharing there, or you could go to your Meet tab, and then you've got the option to stop presenting just there. I'm going to use that there, and that's stopped my screen being presented. And I can now try again, this time with a tab. So a Chrome tab is really useful because it lists all the tabs you've got open. So I'm going to just share a single tab, and you'll see in this case it's a lot cleaner. We're only seeing what we actually want to show the pupils, and you can present a presentation, a set of slides, and you've got all the various things that you'd want to do with your presentation there. So, and again, you can stop that, or you can press escape there to get out of your presentation. So we'll stop sharing that and go back to the Meet there. The other things that you might want to do is to use the Jamboard there for the whiteboard, or you may want to turn captions on and off to, say if you've got somebody in your class who has hearing difficulties, then closed captions will act as subtitles, which is really useful for some pupils who do have hearing difficulties. Turning those off. Other thing is obviously you've got the chat there that you can allow pupils to send chat, or you can switch that off if you want. And your list of who you've got there. That's where you can access your host controls, or you can just get a screenshot of everybody who is attending your Meet as you go down like that. The other option for recording attendance is to go to the tiled view, where you've got everybody who's in as tiled view. That will show everybody, and you can get as many tiles as you like, all the way up to 30 plus. And then once that's got all of the people on, you can just do a screenshot of your screen and then act as a record of who was actually there during that Meet for that day. Key thing when you finish is that you ask everybody to leave, and only once the screen is clear do you then leave the call. Because if you leave the screen open, the pupils can then stay on and talk amongst themselves, and there is the possibility that one of them could end up as being host next time. So always make sure that you actually leave the call first. Sorry, leave the call last. Okay, so that's Google Meet from a pupil's perspective and from the staff there.